Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Dirty Fanatics United is back live Friday at 6, not 7, not 8, but at 6 o'clock tonight, Philip. Obviously, the Falcons game coming up at 7 o'clock. A lot to talk about here before the game gets started. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, leave a subscribe. Definitely subscribe, man. We're at 411, trying to reach that 1K goal. As always, it's your boys, Chase and Philip. I'm your host, my co-host, Philip. Missing our guy, Cody, tonight. Philip, what's going on, man? What to start this show off on the right foot? What are we expecting tonight, bro? Like, what is the expectations? And give me some big names.
I'm hoping to see a lot of Penix. That's my main thing. I want to see what he's going to do out there. Obviously, we're not going to see Kirk, I don't think. So,
At all.
Which I'd say we don't need to. You know, we've like Raheem said, we've seen a whole lot of him in practice. That's a great thing to say, and even here. But some names I'm going to throw out there tonight is, of course, Penix. You got Casey Washington, Braylon Trice, J.D. Bertrand. Those are some of the names that I'm looking forward to keep an eye out on tonight because, you know, those are some of the top guys. Hell, even Rook Ororo. But yeah, I'm going to save some names for you to say. So I'm looking at it, paying attention to some guys like that, you know, that has a big future, you know, coming up in this Atlanta.
Exactly.
Culture, man.
Probably every name I think every name you just named off was a rookie. So, I mean, like you said, this was a draft to be excited about. You went and got that Bertrand guy, J.D. Bertrand. He's an athletic freak. I mean, he was a dog in high school, college, very under-recruited coming out of high school. And then, you know, to see him go to Notre Dame, then come here to Atlanta, making a big name for himself already in this training camp, OTA area. Philip, we got some breaking news this week. Rondale Moore knee is completely mesh right now. Prayers are with Rondale Moore. Season-ending injury. It's always tough to hear, especially about a guy that was getting more reps with the first team than what Ray McCloud was. Initially, the Atlanta Falcons had him listed as the third-string receiver, and now you hear he's getting those first-string reps. He's getting more reps, and then Rondale Moore late in practice against Miami, day 2, messes the knee up. Philip, your thoughts on Rondale Moore? The impact that it'll take on this team, or is it something that next man up mentality?
Felt like it is just a little bit of a next man up mentality, but also he was also in the race for being this what we said the slot receiver the other day. It was between him, Cordero Hodge, and Ray McCloud. It seems like it's now between, you know, Ray and Cordero Hodge, but, you know, my thoughts are with Rondale, man. This is something that you hate to see. Like, you're going in, you're excited to have play for a new coach, new team, you know, the culture, what seems like it's being brought back, you know, the fans back into it. So, you know, it's tough on him. So thoughts and prayers out to him. But it's just
it always seems like the past 2 years, and I won't say every year, but the past 2 years, man, you get a guy in training camp that you like. Matt Collins was mine last year, had the nagging injury all year long, pretty much after week 4 it was. But Philip, do you remember between week 1 to week 3, week 4, he was definitely playing as, you know, a receiver too in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons. So it was dope to see, but it just seems like the past 2 years you've had that guy that you have high expectation for. For instance, Rondale Moore was a guy this year that I thought was going to really turn the pedal. He's got the speed and he's got the athleticism to get open. Obviously, gaining those reps with the first team and then taking the injury. The Falcons list him as on the IR list already. here before preseason game
And
one.
that does knock us out of a potential kick and punt returner as well.
Yep,
so
exactly.
we may be seeing a little bit more. We might be seeing Avery Williams come back. I had expectations of seeing him being possibly released, but this leaves him a spot now.
I seen where it was initially going to be Rondo Moore at kick returner, punt returner as well, and then I did see where Ray was right there in the mix. Ray was right there in the mix with him, but Avery Williams, Philip, a special team returner for the Falcons the past
could
3 or 4 years
from a spot,
Absolutely, because you have these preseason games to decide who you want to make on that roster, and you got to start making a lot of cuts. That's why I kind of agree with the first preseason game. You don't even really play any starters. Maybe your young ones that you need to see more out of.
I think you'll see more.
I couldn't tell you a starter on the offense that we need to see more out of.
I think you'll see maybe first 2 quarters. I feel like could be second and third team. Yeah, on the field.
I'm ready to see Penix, man. Maybe they throw Penix out there with maybe Penix with Drake for a couple of reps. That'd be cool to see. But you don't want to chance it. You don't want to chance it, man. Shout out to Miss Pam in the chat. She says, "Hello, fellas. What's going on, Miss Pam?" She's actually at the game. Miss Pam is in Miami. Been there all week.
Gotta get them vibes.
Diehard Falcon fan right here, man. Miss Pam. Gotta get you back on the show, Miss Pam. Philip Crawford in the chat said, "Let's go, F the Aints." Rise up, Philip. Mama in the chat said, "Happy Friday, DFU. Happy Friday. Been waiting on it all week." This is an emoji, but StreamYard for some reason won't allow it. So shout out to the Connect. It's Caleb says, "Sign Juju or Renfro." Philip, this was a topic. This was going to be a topic before we get into tonight's game, but we just talked about Rondo Moore. We seen Juju get cut today from New England. And then, obviously, Renfro from the Raiders.
Possible trade for Renfro.
2 guys that have had pretty successful years. Yes, Juju has been hurt a couple, last year and the year before. Maybe that's why the Patriots are cutting him. But I think personally, to Caleb's question here, if you can get a healthy Juju, you have a receiver that can be a dominant receiver 2 or 3.
That could leave his career here in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Possibly.
Philip, your thoughts of the Juju signing or possibly a Renfro trade?
Just like you said, if Juju could stay healthy, that would be my choice. But then again, you're thinking of Renfro. This is a guy that's been holding it down over in, Vegas? He's been holding it down for a while now over there. And without Devontae Adams for a couple years as well. So 2 very solid picks. The thing with Juju, I would say my only issue would be maybe I've seen certain contract things, but if it could come with a friendly deal, then he's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're the vet coming on the end of your career. You're not gonna get the big payday,
right? And it's you don't have to be the star receiver. We all know he's not gonna be the top one, or exactly. I don't even think the top 2 really. I think the number 1 and 2 receivers right there is locked down with Drake, obviously, and Mooney, at number 2. So, I mean, if it comes down with a friendly deal, if we even offer him, I'm cool with it. But if it's not, come down to that, we got some choices on the team still that can come up.
Look, we've watched the NFL for years, and you can see more and more each year it's about relationships in the NFL. And somebody that has a really close relationship with Juju is the receiver coach, Ike Hillard from the Atlanta Falcons. They have chemistry there. He knows Juju very well. Juju's played for Ike. So this could be something that possibly the Atlanta Falcons test the waters on. I'm not saying it's going to happen. And no, I'm not a fan that jumps for every receiver that's cut. I promise you this. But to see Juju, as I said, to be a number 2 or a slot receiver, I think that brings you another dynamic to the red zone when you have Kyle Pitts, Drake London.
People could say much about Juju, but he's in the league for a reason, man. He held it down in Pittsburgh for a while after AB left. So, I mean, if he can stay healthy and we send him out a good little deal, I'm all for it to give him a chance. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Philip, you've been sending the tweets all week, and it pertains. Okay, we got a comment here from Ms. Pam live in Miami. She said, Avery Williams is practicing with the kickoff /return room. Philip, you just spoke about it. Avery Williams, possible spot open for Avery to make a comeback here on this 53. It's 53 now, isn't it? 53-man roster, or is it 52?
It's
53, I
man
believe.
roster.
Yeah. So Avery Williams fighting for a spot, warming up with the special teams returner here, as Ms. Pam stated. So, Philip, you got a room of speedsters there. You got Avery Williams, Ray McLeod, Cardell Hodge, another speedster. There's others on the roster spot, the backup running back that you drafted. Then you have
Carlos Washington.
So you have a lot of players that have speed there. So that is a deep, deep room. And if Avery wants to make a spot on this roster, I think special returning, like special teams, is where that's going to be. So expect to see Avery give it his all here in preseason. Philip, speaking of Avery, was looking pretty good the year they had him taking snaps at running back every now and then. And then he obviously has the career-ending injury that year.
Was it the leg?
Season, right? Yeah, his leg. So hope to see Avery make the list here. Philip, we was talking about the Twitter world, and you were sending me tweets all week about Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes, a guy that I was not big on last year. Didn't really understand why the Falcons kept him, but they see something in Mike Hughes, and he's taking reps at cornerback too, with right behind him in Clark Phillips. But Philip, Mike Hughes snagging 2 to 3 interceptions with the practice against Miami. Clark Phillips III doing the same. Each day, both guys come back with an interception. Philip, if you had to pick, I mean, obviously these games are going to show a lot. You're going to see a Clark Phillips in preseason.
You might see a Mike Hughes. You're going to get to see
Mike Hughes in preseason because that is a battle spot. So you're going to get to see players tonight. Philip, who comes out on top, Mike Hughes or Clark Phillips after tonight's game? Miami with some nasty targets. So
it's tough. It's a tough one for that because Mike has definitely, from what I've seen, has stepped it up a lot since last year, and I think it was just due to scheming. Like certain schemes, you run certain things that the player just fits well, and I think Mike is finally showing what he used to be like, man.
Absolutely.
In a certain scheme.
Absolutely,
it's a tough one because you got a young player like Clark Phillips that me and you both are rooting for, but like it's still at the same time, it's just like, damn, if Mike's doing his thing, how can you say which one's like you can't really
it's a good thing to have. It's a good problem to have because both are making the roster.
Because they both deserve it. It's a hard thing on like saying, it's a really tough one on that one.
Ms. Pam said, it looks like the number 1 offensive line are no dressing. We will be seeing number 2 and 3 offensive line tonight. Philip, we obviously thought possibly you would see that because you've had a top 10 offensive line in the past 2 years. I'm sure Raheem has seen what he needed to see out of that offensive line here in training camp, OTAs, etc., weight room. Philip, there was a post that came out today about our guy, Caleb McGarry, and I sent it to the group chat. It was about Caleb being able to take on the bull rush in Miami. Philip, you know as well as I do, that has been a major weak point for Caleb McGarry in his pass protecting game. It said, I can't remember who posted it, but they said if Caleb McGarry has learned how to take a bull rush, Caleb McGarry will be the best tackle in the league this year. Philip, your thoughts? Caleb McGarry bulking up in size, 20 pounds more. Not seeing him tonight play, obviously. If there was something to see, I think Coach would have him on the field. But Philip, Caleb McGarry, what are your thoughts on him this season? Is he's gonna be blocking the blind side of Michael Penix if he's here for another 3 years, because I truly believe Kirk Cousins is fixing to light the lead up. But Philip, your thoughts of Caleb McGarry and his longevity here in Atlanta?
Caleb's been a guy that's started off a little rough for him, but hey, it happens. That was a welcome to the NFL. The past 2 seasons, he's been progressing. Whether people want to agree or disagree, go look at the tape. Go look at it, man. He's progressing. I don't care what nobody says, and you know what I mean. So I think he's working on his weak points, which is like certain things being on the blind side here recently. I think he's seen that we got a left-hand quarterback, so he's gonna have to pick it up on both sides. You know what I mean? Like he's working his hardest just to stay here. He wants this job. And you can't down him on that, man. So I respect his grind that he's doing and the bulking that I've noticed here lately. Like it looks like he's ready to take it more serious than he was before. Like he took it serious, but he's got
a quarterback.
He's there.
He's finally got a quarterback. So
what they say nowadays, he's locked in, man. So he's ready to go in there, work on them weak points that he's got trying to build up, So I think he'll be here for a little while, unless something bad happens or, but God willing, that don't happen. But you know what I mean? So
yes, sir.
I just feel like he'll be here for a little while.
I agree with you.
Alongside
Gary,
with Lindstrom.
I'll say that night that they drafted those two guys together, boy, was I a mad Falcon fan. I did not want two offensive linemen in the first round, but that's what happened. And now you have a top 10 offensive line the past 2 seasons. Hopefully to see a top 10 here again this coming up year. So I'm riding with you, Philip. McGarry all the way, baby. We've seen what he can do on the run block. You have a coach now that understands the right side is your strong point, so maybe we'll run the ball to the right a lot more than we were doing to the left.
My man understands a lot
He was
more.
running the ball to a rookie, Philip. Like making his job hard. Falcon fans, you listen to Dirty Fanatic tonight. Hit that like button, leave a subscribe. Philip, DSGB Hall is in the chat, said, rise up, fellas. Rise up, DSG. Pamela Johnson said, Kurt is on the sideline, not dressed. Philip, Michael Penix Jr. from the jump, babe.
MPJ. That boy's the way you get the do-rag ready.
Oh, we're getting the do-rag out.
We get the do-rag ready.
We're getting the do-rag out. Philip, expectations for Michael Penix tonight. I want to say something real quick before you answer that. Did you see Joe Milton against the Carolina Pansies?
I did not, man. I
Joe Milton, thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, but the Panthers suck so bad, dude. I had
Philip,
it up
17
on my
to
phone.
nothing. They couldn't even put a field goal up in preseason.
I'm over here holding it on my phone in bed last night. I'm just like, damn, bro. I was bored. It made me tired that I just switched it off, bro, and dead serious went to bed. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I didn't watch most of it. I caught the highlights.
It killed me. It drained me, man. I was so hyped.
Philip, Joe Milton out there throwing the ball like it ain't nothing.
Shout out
scrambling in the backfield like he's another Michael Big. I mean, just making elusive plays here as
he was
a backup.
the one from Tennessee, right?
And from what I'm hearing, Joe Milton is beating Drake May in every rep this offseason. Philip, a guy that DFU was high on, Drake May. Your thoughts about that? Then we'll get right back on target with Penix. But your thoughts about that?
I mean, some people had their little things about Drake May, how they said in certain things they thought he could have been a little bit better on, but he just, I don't know, it seemed like he was just too overconfident sometimes, but, it is what it is. We seen Joe Milton play in Tennessee for, 3 or 4 years. We knew what he can do. Hell, at the beginning play of he took it to the house the first game last year of the season against Georgia. I mean, just bulldozing over our players, and we're thinking, what the hell is going on? Like,
Philip, that brings me that you just led me straight back to my path, because that brings me to my next point. Michael Penix Jr., you've seen what he did in college. You've seen what he was able to do with the Washington team in college. Philip, expectations for Michael Penix Jr. tonight.
Man, MPJ, I do see at least 3 touchdowns, possibly.
Shit.
I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I can see at least 2 or 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? I don't want to see.
Give me just a guess. Who is Michael Penix Jr.'s first pass completed to tonight?
Considering I don't think Drake or Kyle Pitts is going to be playing. Right. Like Miss Pam says, they seem like they're all not dressed. It's team one's not dressed. I feel like it'll be a Casey Washington.
I was thinking the same thing, bro.
I was thinking Casey Washington.
Or maybe one of your backup tight ends. He's got some big body tight ends.
And you possibly could see
Warner. Charlie Warner.
Man, you could possibly see Ray out there too, man. I don't know if he's going to be playing, but it might be a guy that they're trying to fight for a job too as well, trying to get that slot or, fight for, something. So it could be a Ray McLeod. Could be a Hodge, you know what I mean? There's a good bit of players like that out there, man. I'm just ready to see what he's going to do.
Dude, my expectations tonight for Michael Penix Jr., it's not really expectations, but it's what I would hope happens. I think Michael Penix comes out there and shuts all the doubters up. He proves why he was the number 8 pick here in the draft. First round by the Atlanta Falcons, the future of Atlanta. And it would be nice to see him signify that tonight here.
I have D-Led just
posted there's already articles coming out. And obviously, go ahead.
D-Led just posted something on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. 5 notable players to watch out, as we stated ours earlier.
Okay.
Let me see. It was QB1, or number 1 is QB Michael Penix Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was linebacker J.D. Bertrand. 3 was Casey Washington.
Hey.
Defensive tackle. Number 4 was defensive tackle Rook Ororo.
Philip, we said every name, Philip.
And 5, this is what's so fucking weird. Carlos Washington Jr. As we
said
every
it all.
We named all 5.
That's what's up, and I got something for that because I think that's pretty
badass.
He didn't play. But shout out to the soundboard for making me look dumb there. Comment here in the comment section from my guy Millie Mills said, DFU, what's up? DF Millie, appreciate the shout out.
What up, DFU?
It's Falcon Friday. Yes, it is. Rise up. Hoping to see Philip. Score prediction for tonight. It's preseason, so don't go crazy.
I'm about to say shout out boy Terry. I'm going to say 35-10. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's, preseason games is always close most of the time, so I'm gonna give it about. I still think it might be one of them games. You could see like a 28-21, 28-24 type deal tonight.
Okay.
Of course, we get the
from what it seems like though, Philip, from watching the Twitter world from the past week or whatever. I seen that. Hold up, we got a comment here from Millie Mills because this just popped up. He says, "I just seen the Joe Milton highlights, bro. Don't tell me New England got something there, bro. They got a sleeper in a late round. Joe Milton torched the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, they're backups, but still."
You brought up the deal with Drake May as well. I forgot that they selected both quarterbacks. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, like they drafted Drake in the first round, and they're talking about Joe Milton taking his starting position.
You do like we realize now thinking about it though. They started off with that running type offense, quarterback wise at the end of Bill Belichick's. Belichick didn't like that, but that's what they wanted to run.
Did it with Cam Newton. Tried to do it with Cam Newton.
It was just, I feel like Cam was just a little too, just like Julio, we just think it ain't the same no more. You know what I mean? Your effect don't wore off. But shout out to Julio. Yeah, he was a Falcon. Fuck you, Cam.
Shout out to Julio, man. That dog. Millie Mills said, "Do look comfortable. Ain't gonna lie. Maybe it was just against them bums. I don't know, but bruh.
Anybody can look comfortable, but hey, he done it against a number 1 Georgia team as well. So I mean, that's hard. That's hard to do, unless you're Alabama. But we ain't gonna get into that.
You see the banner below, man. Head over to YouTube, type it.
Still shot them dogs.
ATL, hit that subscribe.
Got the sign helmet in the back.
Philip, my expectations, because I still have yet to get to it. My expectations for tonight: Michael Penix Jr. throws for 200 yards.
I see that.
200 yards, 1 touchdown passing, and a good bit of red zone trips.
I like it. I like it.
I'm cool.
I forgot to say the yards, but I was thinking somewhere in 200 range as well.
And I'm cool with because he probably ain't gonna play but a quarter, 2 quarters maybe. I'm cool with even like 150, 180 passing yards. But give me a good passer rating. Give me a good passer rating. I know you haven't been with these guys long, but there should be some chemistry there with these backups. Right. So I'm hoping to see some good chemistry. Hoping to see explosive plays. I want to see that big arm tonight, bro. I want that big Penix energy.
He showed it last Friday, that's for sure.
Big Penix energy, baby. Philip, shout out to Cody, man. Cody was not able to make it, but Dirty Fanatics United will be live. Philip, we doing halftime or are we doing at the end of the show, man? What are we doing? Halftime or end of the show?
I'm cool with halftime. Hell, I'm cool with doing both too. Hell, it don't matter to me.
May even do both.
I mean, it's a Friday night. I'm feeling good, feeling blessed. We got football coming on, baby. We back.
Rise up, man. Rise up. Philip, we talked about players that we were interested in to see. You brought up J.D. Bertrand. I wanted to bring up Braylon Trice.
Braylon Trice. My dog.
Braylon Trice got a good bit of reps with the second team at training camp at
Brandon
the Benz.
Dolores.
Brandon Dolores, another guy, Philip, I want to see. And he wasn't part of this draft class, but what was his name? Oh, my mind just went blank. What was his name?
No, you said he's not part of this.
He's D'Angelo Malone. D'Angelo Malone is a guy
yeah.
that I want to see some production out of tonight because he didn't get it last year. And AK, Philip, I'm sure AK will get some snapping time tonight. He supposedly would have had like 3 sacks in Miami in 2 days.
That boy said he eating.
Gotta see it from AK.
Eat, AK,
Phillip,
eat.
If you had to give a number on sacks, how many sacks tonight could the Atlanta Falcons put up with this new D-line, this deep D-line? Not secondary, not so deep, but this deep D-line. How many sacks can we get tonight?
I'm just sitting there thinking about like all the guys we got, like Aroro. You got people like Street that still might play as well.
Trice,
we don't know.
Dolores,
Trice,
Zach.
you know, I'm gonna say at least 5 or 6.
Philip shooting for the sky tonight. Ron Thomas with the same exact answer right here, Philip. 6 sacks.
It could happen though. Like
Millie Mills with the 3 sacks here.
I just at least want to see something like that. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be like high. Obviously, I ain't trying to go like way out there, but I mean, I could see 5 or 6 sacks, bro. Just say like if AK can get it 3 in one day, just imagine. But it's practice. But imagine, imagine what we can still do though. I mean, they didn't stake nobody else getting. They just
if you come out there preseason game 1 and you put up anywhere near 6 sacks,
run.
The Atlanta Falcons fans and the ESPN are talking.
What's the run?
Falcon fans, hit that like button. Leave a subscribe if you haven't already. Head over to YouTube if you're watching on Facebook. Dirty Fanatics United. Type it in. You'll see us pop up. Hit the subscribe button, man. It's free. Philip, obviously, we're going to come back at halftime, so we're going to be watching this game pretty close, laser focus, first, second quarter. What could we predict? Maybe give a prediction for score up to halftime, and then when we come back at halftime, we'll talk about what we think the game could finish out. Obviously, what we thought about the first 2 quarters, who could have did better, who succeeded, and obviously who stole the show.
Right.
So, give me a score before halftime. What do you think it could be before halftime or at halftime?
I can see a 14-10.
14-10. That sounds about right. I'll shoot in that area. I'll say 10-7 or 14-7, something like that. Something close. Let's see. We got some more stuff to talk about here. Let me pull it up here on the phone. It says, Philip, this is not about tonight's game, but Philip, there's another person that's out on the free agency market. He wanted to come to Atlanta last year. Jesse Bates, really good buddies with him. We talked to him a couple times throughout the season. It was brought up. It was a rumor. Justin Simmons, and the Falcons have landed at number 4 as a sleeper spot for Justin Simmons to best fit in at. Philip, could there be a possibility you could see Justin Simmons in the background of where it's – I don't want to call our back like the secondary. I don't want to call it weak. I'm not trying to call it weak. Not that at all. But I just say it's not very depth-wise. It's not
the strongest that it could be.
Exactly. And if you add a Justin Simmons, you're kind of solidifying that with a Jesse Bates as well.
I was looking at it today or an hour or two ago when I seen it pop up. I think I sent it to the group chat that we're in. I'm cool with it, but the thing is, I'm thinking of money wise as well. Again, I don't know how much he's willing to take. Yeah, he's a guy that deserves some money though, because he's in the top 10 safeties as well. I mean, that would mean we would have 2 top 10 safeties. That's crazy. That would be crazy.
You know how nasty the 2-man covers would be with 2 safeties like that in the back, and you have an AJ man-to-man, a Clark Phillips that loves man-to-man. Mike Hughes, another guy that kind of does the zone covers, but he can still play man-to-man. He's a big body cornerback. I think Justin Simmons would solidify this defense, bro.
It can go anywhere on that list. Just don't go to the Saints. Don't go to the Saints. You go to the Saints, you are out to me then. You feel me?
Philip, some around the league news before we get back to our game tonight. Real quick, Millie Mills in the chat said 14-10 before half. Us. So he's got us winning 14-10 at the halftime. He said if we get Simmons, then who not getting paid? Exactly what your point there, Philip, when you speak about Simmons and the pay.
That's true. That's true.
Want a team-friendly deal here when it comes to Simmons. So exactly, Millie Mills here with a solid comment. Says if you get Simmons, then who you not going to pay? Because you got to make roster cuts coming up soon.
Richie.
And you, Richie, maybe.
Nah, I love my dog, bro. I love
Millie, I'm not mad if it's Richie. I'm just going to be honest.
I ain't gonna be mad, but I love my dog. He'd be funny sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
Philip, to close out this little 30-minute live
Raheem
show that we had here before the game. Obviously, 20 minutes until the Atlanta Falcons are live here.
They
getting
just
to watch the Falcons
too,
again, bro. It ain't regular season. Read it.
They said, let the Raheem regime begin. And it's got my dog Terry and Raheem walking out with big smiles on their face, man. They ready to
first game.
Philip,
we're going to speak on that real quick because, dude, it's just like you can look at Raheem and tell he's happy.
That's like vibes, bro. Dude, I could hang out with this guy, bro. Like, he would just be a good vibe. Like,
absolutely. To me, it just looks like this team is bought in. Raheem is bought into this team. Like, not only has the players bought into him, but Raheem is really bought into this team.
Before we parted ways with him everybody loved him then too. So that was big reason why we brought him back in a way. I feel like. I mean, hell, he was the guy that ended up getting us our first win that season. No down in, Dan Quinn, but he just wasn't, he just didn't have it at the time, bro. That Super Bowl loss got to him, so it is what it is, man.
It did big time.
But shot to Quinn though, but also shot to Raheem, man. He got us our first win back in 2020, and God, it was the best feeling that year, bro. I thought we wasn't gonna get one. It was
shout out Millie Mill. He said it might be AJ for real, or probably Tyler Algier.
Oh,
the reason why I don't think it would be Tyler Algier is because I've heard Zach Robinson speak on how big of a role that Tyler Algier is going to carry this year. Even some practices, Philip, Tyler Algier was getting reps over when the Falcon at the Benz came out, Philip. Who was at running back one? Who took the first snap at running back? Tyler Algier, the third-year vet, the 1K rookie Russian leader, Tyler Algier. I don't think the Falcons would trade or cut Tyler Algier. I think Tyler Algier is safe here, I'd say, for another 3 to 4 years.
I don't think the Simmons thing happens.
Stating that he stays healthy, I think Tyler Algier has a career here in Atlanta, as well as Bijan. You have 2 targets. Bijan, not only a running back, but an elusive receiver as well. I think you have a Zach Robinson scheme. It's set. It's set for the books, and it's going to be history, Philip.
It's damn sure going to be history, man.
I'm ready to see what happens. Falcon fans, 19 minutes now away from the live Falcon preseason game. Philip, we're about to part ways here on the channel, obviously coming back at halftime to talk Falcon football. So everybody that is tuned in now, check in with us at halftime. Let us know how you're feeling. If you're mad, if you're sad, hit the comment section. Give us a yeet in the comment section, man. Philip, shout-outs before we get up out of here and watch these Dirty Birds play some football, babe.
Shout out to God for letting me be here. Man, it's always a blessing to just do this. I'm hyped for some reason. Football is always here, man. I'm always hyped. So shout out to that. Shout out to the team out here, man. Shout out to Michael Penix. I hope you go out there and show some of the fans that are on social media hating him, giving him all certain things about how he's had certain injuries. Man, I pray that he lets that all side, pushes it aside, and goes out there and falls. Shows us why he's going to be here for the next 20 years, even though he might not play in the next 3 years. Don't matter. He's going to be here long term. So I hope he goes out there and does his thing. Praying for no injuries, man. So shout out to the team. Same with, Miami. Don't want no injuries. So shout out to the fights that's been happening. It's been entertaining looking at, but, it's just showing the teams, wanting it, bro. So, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to all them boys out there, man. Shout out to Class over there in Miami. You hurt my feelings going to Miami, but it is what it is. Appreciate you. Appreciate you bringing the teams together, though, and showing some recognition of the boys, though, still. Sir. So that's a real one. Shout out to you, sir.
Amen.
And just shout out, man. We'll be back at halftime, baby. You feel me? You know what we're gonna
Ready
do.
to talk 5
You
football.
know what we're gonna do, baby.
Rise up, man. Shout out everybody that tuned in for this quick 35, 40-minute live here before preseason game 1 in Miami. Feel about to go down, episode 81 here for Dirty Fanatics United. Hit that like button, leave a subscribe. Check us at halftime because we lit. It's your boy Chase and Phillip from Dirty Fanatics United, man. A-Town down, rise up.
I hope that I'm wrong.